Hello guys, I am your girl Chanazi's Twist and I'm back again with another twist. I hope you all are doing well today and we are all excited to prepare this seasonal delicacy you will find in every home in Cameroon at this time of the year because we've got fresh corn in our gardens, we've got fresh corn in our farms, in the market, in the streets, and you'll find this meal in every home. This is the rainy season and it is the season of fresh sweet corn. Now, one of the main things we need for this meal are fresh banana or plantain leaves. You want to get some fresh banana or plantain leaves and warm them on fire like so, like just what I'm doing. Make sure you warm the outer side of the leaf. You know, leaves have got two sides, so you warm the outer side, not the inner side, and make sure it doesn't stay too much on the heat, otherwise you have to damage your leaves because they will get burnt. And once your leaves are burnt, you can't use them because you need them fresh. So we need fresh sweet corn, which is our main ingredient for this meal. Then we'll also be using some fresh spinach. Actually, we usually use fresh cocoyam leaves, but I couldn't place my hands on them, so I had to go for spinach. Some palm oil. I'm also going to be using some corn flour and habanero pepper for the heat, our pink salt, and this is actually what our warmed leaves look like. So straight up guys, we're going to start prepping our corn. All we need are the corn kernels. So what we're going to do now is take off the silk and the husk from the corn. And once this is done, we'll go straight up to removing the kernels from the cob because we need just the kernels. So usually we use a knife like what I'll be doing right now. So we use a knife to take it out. We usually go with the knife and our bare hands or our fingers, but using the bare hands and fingers is sometimes tedious. So today let's just use the knife because the kernels are really soft. Yeah, I'm not using our Cameroonian corn, so the kernels are really soft. So once this is done, we'll go ahead to crush them. We have different methods of crushing them. So guys, here I had to mix two types of corn, the fresh corn that I just prepared, and I also added some frozen corn, frozen sweet corn. So I'll just pass it through my blender, like two blends, and that's it, because I don't want it to be too smooth. Now back home we do not use blenders. We use the grinding stone or the mortar and pestle to crush them, or we also have this manual grinder. We have a manual grinder that we use, but I don't have access to any of them, so I'll go straight to use my blender. But I do not want them to be too smooth. So this is what it looks like. I did add my yellow and red pepper. You can see them. You can see the crushed habanero peppers. Also, those red and yellow dots are the peppers. So now I go straight to adding my salt and my corn flour. The corn flour is an extra twist, guys. It's optional, but I added this corn flour because I need to have the right consistency. Since I am not using our Cameroonian corn, the corn here is really, really soft, and I do not want to have soft cookie corn. Now, once this is done, we go ahead and warm our palm oil or red oil and pour it all over. You don't want your oil to be bleached, just hot, really hot, and then you pour it over your mixture, over your ground corn. Now give it a good mix. Make sure that everything is properly mixed and everything is covered with oil. You can see at the bottom there I still have some corn, some ground corn without oil. So I'll make sure that you can see there, everything is thoroughly mixed. You do not also want to fail in your seasoning because seasoning the koki corn is really, really delicate. So you have to make sure that you have the right seasoning. Now I'll help you on this. Seasoning koki corn is very delicate because koki corn is a pudding, and once your koki corn is ready, there is just no way you can adjust the seasoning. You're gonna eat it the way it is. And if you have too much or less of salt, then you're gonna enjoy your failed koki corn. So you do not want to have this, right? Now what you're gonna do is this. So before you add in your leaves, I mean your cocoyam leaves or your spinach, you need to make sure that your salt overpowers your corn slightly. Yeah. So when you add in your leaves now, it's gonna balance. So once our mixture is ready, we go ahead and add in our leaves and mix it thoroughly again. Like I said earlier, koki corn is a pudding, so you don't want to fail on the seasoning. So make sure that the seasoning, the salt, you can feel the salt on your palate. It shouldn't be too salty, but you can feel that salt on your palate. That's the technique I can tell you. When you feel that salt on your palate at the right measurement, like you don't feel it's too salty, like the salt doesn't hit you really hard, then know that your seasoning is just on point. Yeah. So now when we are at this level, it's time to wrap our cookie corn. So we are going to be placing our koki corn on our leaf. Like I said earlier, the leaves have got two sides, the outer side and the inner side, and we shall be using the inner side to place our koki corn. Once we place them on the inner side, wrap them carefully and place them in a pot. And before putting them in a pot as well, we need to have a base. I use some leaves as a base. Yeah, because we do not want our koki corn to have direct contact with the pot since we are just steaming them. So we place them like so on a leaf and then wrap them carefully. Make sure you do not tear your leaves because once your leaves are torn, you might fail in your koki corn because you do not want water in your koki corn. But once your leaves are torn, either water will get into the koki corn and drain out the oil, or the koki corn itself would um I don't know how I'll say it, but yeah, the cookie corn itself will spread in the pot. Yeah. So we need to be very careful when we are wrapping our cookie corn. It's very, very delicate. So now our cookie corn is completely wrapped, beautifully wrapped. Put it on heat and then add some water. I went with warm water because I just want the boiling process to begin. So we usually put the water by the side of the pot. You cook it for about 45 minutes and voila, our cookie corn is ready and it's time to munch. Yeah, I allowed it to get a little bit burnt because I like there is that part that once it gets burnt, there is that feeling of there is that crunchiness. Like I don't know how to explain it, but yes, those who know the burnt cookie corn know what I'm talking about. I forgot to mention earlier that the water we put in the pot should just be enough to be below the puddings. Yeah, you do not want your water to overshadow your cookie corn. So we have to do this process repeatedly over and over. Once it gets dry, you add in more water. Once it gets dry, you add in more water. So this is what our cookie corn looks like. So beautifully cooked. So beautifully cooked. It's time to consume it, and I just can't wait. It looks so colorful, isn't it? So you can see it's still very hot, but I just can't wait. Yeah. Once it gets cold, it's a bit hard, but now it's freshly cooked. Is I don't have that patience to wait, so I'm just gonna devour it right away. Join me, let's enjoy this, guys. And thank you so much for watching. I love you all so much. See you in our next twist.